Namaste, good afternoon, and a warm welcome to everyone joining us from across the globe. I am Dr. Vikash Agarwal, a professional chartered coach from UCF, and it is my absolute privilege to be your host today. Welcome to UCF, to our community of coaches, change makers, and lifelong learners. It is an honor to be in your company. You have tuned in to Universal Awakening. If you are new here, let me explain what this is in simple terms. We are coaches. We are the ones people call when they are stuck. We spend our lives helping other people grow, change, and upgrade their lives. But who helps us grow? This is what a universal awakening is. This is our gym. This is our classroom. This is the place where we come to brainstorm, to look at new research, and to challenge each other. We are here because we believe that a coach who stops learning stops leading. We want to keep our tools sharp and our insights fresh. Tonight, today, we apply those tools to the most important client you will ever have, your partner. Our topic today is soulmates to roommates, breaking silence in marriage. It is a phrase that haunts many of us. We start as soulmates full of passion, curiosity, and connection, but slowly, silently, we drift. The conversations turn into logistics. The intimacy turns into a checklist. And the person we promise to share our life with becomes just a roommate. We are here to ask, why does this happen? Why do we succeed at work, managing complex team and crisis, yet struggle to manage the silence in our own living rooms? We are here to tell you that this drift is not a failure of love. It is often just a failure of safety. And the path back to connection is built on one thing, deep spiritual listening. So today we are going to upgrade our toolkit. To lead this inquiry, we have curated a powerhouse faculty. Today, we are going to dissect the journey from soulmates to roommates. To lead this inquiry, we have first our keynote presenter, Dr. Rati Chandra. Dr. Rati Chandra will decode the mechanics of why we shut down in conflict. And following her presentation, we have an extraordinary expert panel waiting in the wings to help us translate this research into real-world application. We will be joined by a truly unique trio. Major Archana R. Lokeshwar, retired, a veteran of the Indian Army who moved from the battlefield to the heartfield. CA Isha Gupta, a chartered accountant and Reiki grandmaster who understands both the balance sheet and the energy field. Dr. Dhirendra Gautam, Dr. D, a global CFO turned coach who has led transformation across 70 countries. The visionary is the anchor of our ship. I will introduce them properly when it is their time to take the stage, but for now, know that you are in expert hands. First, our keynote presenter. C brings a rare and powerful combination to this topic. C is an economist by education, a former banker by profession, and an emotional well-being coach by calling. With over 2 decades of experience moving from boardrooms to classrooms, she blends analytical clarity with emotional depth. She is here to decode the mechanics of why we shut down. Please welcome Dr. Rati Chandra. Fellow coaches, the lab is open, the research is ready. Let's upgrade our understanding. We have the wisdom, we have the tools, and we have the commitment to learn. Let's begin the awakening. Dr. Rati, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Vikas, for that warm welcome. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. D and the entire team of UCF for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on a phenomena which is extremely common, but yet it is rarely discussed in open. Today, we are going to talk about from soulmates to roommates, breaking silence in marriage. Let me decode this title for you. Here, when we say soulmates, we mean there are two people who are deeply connected emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even spiritually. They are affectionate, they long to hear each other, They long to spend time with each other. They are curious about each other's life. But over a period of time, these feelings fades. And after a few years of marriage, we just become roommates. All the emotions become transactional. So, in 24 years of my corporate experience, I have spoken to a lot of individuals and I have coached many couples in India as well as internationally. And the most common reflection that I get from there is हमें पता ही नहीं लगा ये दूरियां कब आ गई. और they say, one second. Sorry. और they say कि ये हमें याद ही नहीं कि हमने कब बात करना बंद कर दिया. Or a very, very common thing from a, what do you call, from this corporate thing is, शादी को अब कई साल हो गए हैं, अब वो बात कहाँ, अब तो बस कट रही. Have you also heard about these phrases? अब तो बस निभा रहे हैं, अब तो बस कट रही है, अब तो ऐसे ही चलता है, अब तो काफी साल हो गए शादी को. I want to call all of you here and I want to ask you if you have felt similar thing or if you know any couple who is going through this. If yes, I want you to please write it in the comment box right now. So let me take you through my personal coaching experience, and the story is about Mr. and Mrs. Mittal. Actually, a couple of years before, they had come to me, actually not as a couple, but they had come to me as parents. Their concern was about their 13-year-old son, Aditya. Of late, Aditya had become very aggressive. He had very frequent mood swings. He was neither interested in his studies nor he was keen in making friends. And over the period of time, he was just getting out of hands. He was not listening to his parents at all. And while I was talking to Mr. and Mrs. Mittal, something absolutely different but very common turned out. Aditya was not the problem. He was just the mirror of the lack of intimacy between his parents. He was just showing the lack of intimacy between Mr. and Mrs. Mittal. I understood it because they were talking about how well the life was scheduled, how organized they were. They were actually having Google Calendar amongst themselves. They had planned everything. They had planned their bills. They had planned who will pick up Aditya from school. They had never missed one PTM. At the outside, everything seemed very nice. But inside, something very dangerous, something very subtle was brewing. And that was silence. Most of us don't realize when silence slowly creeps in and our marriages don't flourish. They just start creeping. Our marriages just start surviving, very transactional. We don't have deep conversations. We are just staying under the same roof, but we are not staying together. So let me tell you, what do we mean by roommates? Roommate marriage is very functional. Everything looks very nice, perfect from outside. All bills are paid, children are fed, parties are attended. Everything is good, but everything is functional. There is no spark between the spouses. There is no romance between the spouses. There is no care, conversation between the spouses. Two people live their parallel life under the same roof. but they are not together. I have heard so many couples, those who say that they share the same bed, but their physical intimacy also becomes so transactional, so mechanical. And that is what we call as roommates. So this silence, which I am talking about, which many couples take years to understand, that when it has creeped in, it actually shapes your identity. It shapes your relationship. And when the emotions are not heard or the emotions are not named, they become wounds. And these wounds hurt. They really hurt, but they don't show. So why acknowledging this silence, acknowledging this rift matters? Why don't we just prolong living in a marriage which is functional or which is a roommate marriage? Because it has certain cost attached to it. The first is personal cost. When one of the two spouses feel unheard, feel unseen, feel unrespected, all these things, bottle up inside them. And often, very, very often, I have seen it comes out as a blast at a wrong time, at a wrong place, and it definitely gives a wrong result. The second cost is relational cost. When this silence comes in, the relationships start drifting. Slowly, steadily, but surely. The biggest cost is the cost of your relationship. You don't feel that urge. You are not feeling that connection anymore. And the third cost, which is mostly ignored, is transitional cost. When two people are living like roommates, when there is no intimacy, when there is no connection, the biggest payers are the family members. And this drift transit into your family, and your children become collateral damage. This is exactly what was happening with Mr. and Mrs. Mittal. Aditya was he was not able to put his emotions into words. He was only behaving in a way which was showing that there is a lack of emotional intimacy in the family. He was just mirroring the distance, the drift, which has actually built up in the family, mainly in his mother and father. So let me tell you why this drift, this silence that I'm talking about happens. To understand this, let us take an example. Okay, let us take an example of Rohan and Anita. Young couple, must be into marriage in 5-6 years of their marriage. And they were experiencing this drift, this silence. So Anita decided to bring it on. And with lot of courage, with lot of contemplation, she came to Rohan and she very, very, very genuinely and normally she said, Rohan, तुम मुझसे अब बात नहीं करते. Rohan, you do not talk to me enough. Or Rohan, we are not talking enough. Now, this was a simple sentence, a simple, normal sentence between a husband and wife. But Rohan heard it from his survival mind. He did not hear the feeling of Anita. He just heard, अब लड़ाई शुरू होने वाली. What did he hear? Now a fight is about to take place. An argument is about to take place. So in order to avoid this argument, he just says, Anita, abhi baat nahi karte. Let's not talk about it right now. Or he says, tum hamesha hi aisa bolti ho. You are always full of complaints. Or he can say, not right now. Right. He is just trying to avoid the conflict. He is just trying not to get into an argument. But this Anita takes from her emotional. She feels hurt. She miss Rohan. And both of them start using their logical. Here, Anita is thinking, have I lost my attractiveness? Have I lost my beauty? Is Rohan not interested in me enough? Is he seeing someone else? Are we done with our marriage? Is this always happens after 5-6 years of marriage? This is what is expected. And Rohan, at the same mind, with his logical mind, he's thinking, I don't know what has happened to this girl. Why she is always after my life? Why does she think I am not giving her time? I am the same old Rohan. Why aren't she thinking like this? Has she changed? Is she looking for something else? And this is a normal pattern which gets into a loop and it becomes a pattern. A pattern which occurs again, again, and again on every conversation. And the pattern goes like this. One reaches out, the other feels attacked. And they withdraw. And what happens? Silence becomes the protection. Both of them thinks बस हो गया, इनसे तो बात करना ही बेकार, इनका तो मुंह ही हमेशा सड़ा रहता है. They are never happy. This is what they have become. This is a natural thing which happens, and this loop goes again, again, and again. And you know what? Whenever I have spoken to couples, they understand it. Most of them realize that there is something wrong between them, something which has to be mended. So what do? Most commonly, they go to the internet and they check that what happens among them is normal or it is happening only to them. So if you will write this in ChatGPT, the most common suggestion ChatGPT would give you will be go on date night. Now, this suggestion of going to date night is very superficial. You feel this change. You feel nice, you dress up, you go for a candlelight dinner, and you are ready to talk. And guess what? The moment you start talking, that loops in. The same pattern, the same loop start again. And just after 15 minutes, you are done with the date night. So date night would not help until things are changed from within. And the next most common thing is taking advice. We all go to our friends, talk about our marriage, talk about our wives, talk about our husbands. And they advise us according to their limited experience. They tell what they know. But actually, what you need is just transformation. And at UCF, we all give a lot of importance to transformation. Transformation is the spine of UCF. Transformation that transforms you from within. We don't give you fish. We make you learn fishing, where you are equipped enough to handle all the situation, not only this. So how do we do this? Let me tell you first how transformation looks like. Transformation gives you more emotional safety. It tells you how you can be aware of the patterns we just spoke. How can you break these patterns? And the most important, it tells you how to respond intentionally and not to react. how to work with purpose, how to do with purpose and not with desire. So in order to transform, UCF has designed a patented framework. We call it ladder. So when you remember I was talking about Mr. and Mrs. Mittal. So I told them to go through this ladder framework week by week. Now these steps sounds very easy. And most of the time couples think that would it really work? But trust me, it has worked 100% of time with me and with my clients. So the first step of ladder is L, which is listening. Now here, listening means listen not to react. Listen not to answer. Listen not to fix anything. Listen not to advise. Listen only to understand. Listen carefully. Listen with 100% attention to the person who is speaking. And trust me, it is not easy. Let me ask you, how many of you are listening me right now? Please give a thumbs up if you all are listening to me the way I want you to listen to me, and how much have I been able to tell you. Okay, so once you are able to learn how to listen, you would be able to analyze. You can analyze the situation. You can analyze the perspective of the other person you are talking to. You can analyze yourself and you can analyze the other person. And once you are able to analyze, it's the time to do. Now you exactly know what is to be done, how the pattern can be broken. What is that the other person is looking for? And forget about other person. The most important thing, I think, in UCF and in ladder is dismantling. Dismantling is a beautiful step. Dismantling means that you shed off all the acquired personality that you have. You know, it is like removing gently each layer from you, which is not you truly. It is like taking off all the old clothes which used to fit in once, and they don't do it anymore. You know, dismantling is when you remove everything that everyone has done once for you. If you remove everything, then what are you really? And once you understand your true self, you experience. Trust me, you do. I did. And I make all my clients do. And I am assuring you, you would too. You would experience your new self. You would experience a revived relationship. You would experience new you and something very new in your spouse. This might be sounding, bookish, but trust me, it is not. Trust me, it is not. You can only feel it to believe. And if you are able to do listening, analyzing, doing, dismantling, and experiencing, you get the result. Mr. and Mrs. Mittal took 7 to 8 weeks just to actually understood the drift that they were, keeping within themselves since years. So this does work. Now, with this ladder framework, we generally do and give some micro actions also. Now, these micro actions are very small. That is the reason it is called micro. But they act like salt in the food. They give flavor. They give flavor to your marriage. They give flavor to your relationship. They give flavor in understanding yourself. So the first micro action I gave to Mr. and Mrs. Mittal was name the drift. Now, name the drift does not mean that you have to really sit down and you have to think what went wrong when. No. Name the drift means that what is within you that is stopping you from experiencing that bloom within. What is that one thing that you are not able to name? And coaches help you to name that thing. And once you name it, everything is done. That is what is looking for. And that is the reason you need coaches in your life. And the second is soft startup language. Now, when I say soft startup language, I don't mean words. In a relationship, there are a lot of small things that add the spice, that add the flavor, that add the longingness. One naughty smile can do wonders. Just that personal joke between the couples, do the trick. One silent wink, or, just a small smack. All these things really, really matter. Okay, let me ask all of you. Tell me, what was the last time when you had done something personally naughty with your spouse? Tell me, when did you do it? I don't want you to tell me what did you do it, but I'm sure you can tell me when was the last time that you both had laughed together and you had, felt that deep connection between you two. Next is weekly state of us. This might sound little bookish. And when I say weekly state of us, it does not mean that you sit with a journal. You ask your spouse to sit and you write, what did you do right to me? What did you do bad to me? No. A state of us means that you think yourself as an important part of this relationship. A state of us means that how important do you feel as a 50% partnership with your spouse? And are you making him feel that important? Are you telling him how important is he or her? That is what I mean with weekly state of us. Next is 5-to-1 positive ratio. 5-to-1 positive ratio means that if you have gone through one difficult conversation, or if you have had one argument or a fight or one bad expression or a rude comment, both of you have to make sure that you do some 5 nice things for your partner. And when I say 5 nice things, does not mean that you have to buy a diamond every time, or you have to give them a property, or you have to give them big cash. No. It just means that you just make a tea for him or her. Make some nice food, something which he really likes. Or just sitting in a balcony, or a walk in the park, or just a compliment. One genuine compliment. You look so pretty. I still melt when I see you. And I see genuine compliments. I don't want to give the compliment just for the sake of complimenting them. No. And the last and the most important micro action that I feel should be given to everybody is pause protocol. To exercise, pause. Now, pause is very different from being silent. Okay? Pause is to come back. Pause is to listen. Pause is to analyze. Pause to dismantle. Sometimes also pause to experience the positive things which are happening around. Pause a bit. So I think this is all I wanted to tell you. And if you have been listening to me still, I really want you to do this one thing for me in all these micro actions. At least, try to do one. I am sure most of you might be doing many of these. But if there is something that you are missing, there is no wrong time to start. You can start right now. So, thank you so much. I wish you a new dawn to your relationship. And I hope that you all are real soulmates. And now that you know the reason, there is no reason that you go to a roommate type of a condition or you get back to a roommate marriage. Thank you so much. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you, Dr. Rati, for that incredible foundation.
Thank you.
Friends, let's take a moment to let that sink in. What Dr. Rati just showed us is that when you are standing there arguing about the schedule or the money or the tone of the voice, and you think that your partner is just being stubborn, you are wrong. They aren't being stubborn, they are biologically offline. You are not living with a villain, you are living with a brain in survival mode. And here is the tragedy, you cannot reason with a brain in survival mode. No amount of communication techniques will work when the hardware is completely shut down. This is exactly why we become roommates. You haven't fallen out of love, you have fallen into biological defense. You are two people living in the same house, but your nervous systems are miles apart, protecting themselves from the very person they swore to love. Now, friends, it's time to bring our expert panel to the stage to help us put these insights into action. Our first panelist is known as the Soldier of Happiness. She is a veteran of Indian Army with over 24 years of diverse experience across the Army, corporate, and social service sectors. Today, she is a master chartered life and leadership coach, the founder of Happiness Catalyst, and is currently pursuing her doctorate in leadership from Paris. She has moved from the battlefield to the heartfield, empowering people to find peace in their relationships. Please welcome Major Archana R. Lokeshwar, retired.
Thank you so much,
Archana,
Vikas, for lovely welcome and kind words. And it was such a lovely presentation, and I think Dr. Rati really covered very well the all the aspects. And this is a topic which is, I think, we all are intrigued about कि क्या है ऐसा? What is that ingredient which can be magical and really keep the spark alive all the time? So, in my experience of coaching as well as from my various leadership positions, what I have understood is that soulmate to roommate, this transition is not because of lack of love. There are three silent killers which actually, without our knowledge, really creates this drift. First is not being able to forgive easily. So, we as couples, we keep our expectations are very high from each other. We keep noting down certain things which are not being done by the other person or which are expected out of the other person, and this becomes our unprocessed pain. And in turn, it becomes a resentment which keeps hurting us. And until and unless we reach the stage where we learn to forgive it, we learn to forgive them, we are not able to move back to the soulmate energy. Second is gratitude. Because whatever we put our focus on, it grows actually in life. So if we really focus on criticism, the distance, it increases. But if we focus on the gratitude, what has been that good thing which was done by the other person? And what are you thankful for in your marriage or in your partnership? Then definitely the strength, the companionship, the partnership, that grows very stronger. And last but not the least is reaction. Reaction is always instant. It comes out of ego. So if we can actually learn how can we reach to respond, like Dr. Rati had mentioned, that take that pause, that pause is the only difference between where you react or you are responding. Because what happens is when you are responding, that means you value the relationship, you value that love. It is coming out of that understanding and awareness. And last but not the least, soulmates are not those who never hurt each other. Soulmates are those who can forgive faster, who can appreciate each other louder, and who can really know how to respond to each other. That's my two bits on the topic. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you, Archana. You have brought a really, wonderful insight about making a choice between gratitude and criticism. I hope this will go a long way for all our viewers and listeners here. And with that, I now welcome the second panelist, whom I would like to call the alchemist, because she brings a truly unique blend of the financial and the spiritual. By qualification, she is a chartered accountant. By calling, she is a Reiki grandmaster, tarot reader, and a certified emotional wellness coach. She understands both the balance sheet and the energy field perfectly. Please welcome CA Isha Gupta. Isha, stage is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Vikas. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. D, for this great opportunity. So, to add on to what Dr. Rati and Major Archana has already covered up, let me begin by asking a simple question to each one of us. We are trying to understand soulmate to roommate connection. But क्या हम डेली के 2 मिनट भी निकालते हैं विदाउट मोबाइल फोन्स विदाउट टीवी विदाउट लैपटॉप विदाउट एनी ऑफिस डिस्कशन बिल डिस्कशन किड्स डिस्कशन क्या हम 2 मिनट भी पार्टनर के साथ बैठ के उसको पूछते हैं हाउ आर यू हाउ वाज योर डे आर यू ऑल राइट आप कैसे हो do we sit with that partner with that 2 minutes of touch 2 minutes of that emotional intimacy that hug वो हाथ में हाथ डाल के बैठ के do we feel that presence that's actually a true soulmate connection is we often feel that soulmate connection is between two people a male and a female but actually if you talk about the soulmate connection is between two energies the masculine and the feminine. We all have these energies within ourselves, which we commonly known as the Ida and the Pingla. When we shift and balance these energies within ourselves, the masculine and the feminine, the Ida and the Pingla, the Shiv and the Shakti element between us, that's where the inner cosmic alignment happens. That's where we shift, we transform, and we evolve. And similarly, when we help our partners evolve in the similar way, and when these two people meet, that's where a roommate connection shifts to a soulmate connection. If you ask me how to do it practically, the first simple step is self awareness, being in that awareness and being in the presentness each moment. The soulmate connection cannot be felt when in the past or in the future. It can only be felt when you are present in your true self. Secondly, we need to shift from the mountains of complaints and expectations to acceptance. Firstly, we need to accept our own self the way we are. Secondly, we need to accept the partner the way he is, not the way we want to be. These similar drifts can shift the stagnant roommate energy to a revived soulmate connection. ज्यादा कुछ नहीं करना है छोटा सा ही प्रयास करना है We don't need a new partner. We need a new renewed presence in our relationship. So, friends, let's bring the soul back into our relationship more courageously, more consciously, more compassionately by bringing those 2 minutes of revived presence in our relationship. Thank you so much. Over to you, Vikas.
That was wonderful, Isha. You talked about the balance between the masculine and the feminine, and creating that self-awareness and presence. And most importantly, you talked about the acceptance, the accepting yourself, and more importantly, accepting your partner as they are. That was really wonderful insight. I hope people will be more enriched with that insight. So now, for the moment we all are waiting, and finally to bring it all together, we have the visionary. He is the anchor of our ship, a global CFO turned life doctor. He has led finance for giants like Pepsi, Unilever, and Motorola across 70 countries. He is the founder and MD of the Universal Coaching Federation, the creator of the patented ladder coaching framework, and the author of the award-winning book, Transforming Money and Relationship Challenges. Please welcome our mentor, Dr. Dhirendra Gautam, whom we lovingly call Dr. D. Dr. D, stage is yours.
Hi, everybody. Hope you all are doing great. It's a wonderful session today from the soulmate to roommate. I would like to thank you all for participating here and understanding why we need to keep on talking about these topics. In 2024, our organization did two major research. We asked about 200 couples who are married about their married life. And you will be surprised, 77% of them are they are not happy with their spouse. It's a big number. So that was one of the key aspect. It looks from outside, the nameplate is still Mr. and Mrs. is there, but inside the room there is no Mr. and Mrs. You are competing with each other. That is one biggest problem we are already having in India. And we are not talking about the people who are married for 16 years and 15 years and 20 years. We are talking about the people who has been married for just 5 and 6 years. That's why the research was there. The second point, which Rati has highlighted in her presentation about the child issue, what is happening with the child because of your relationship between the spouse. We did the research also there with over more than 100 childs from the age of 12 years to 15 years. And we are surprisingly find it out 70% of the child, they don't want to stay with their parents after the age of 15 years. And this is all happening in our India only. It is not UK or USA. So these are the very alarming signal. And it is not like that ki I only say this. Of course, we did the research and I'm giving you the data. But all of us, we are witnessing it in our personal life, in our day-to-day life as a coach, coaching thousands of the people for their life and relationship transformation as a coach. So, is this the way we are going to live it? No, there is a big responsibility on us as a coach is there. And the solution is the transformation. How we can able to empower and transform the spouse, the male and the female, who will not only improve their relationship, but they can start creating a better family for their kids, where they all start experiencing the extraordinary relationship between them, and they are all soulmates to each other. I always keep on sharing relationship is all about transforming your expectation into acceptance. Personality do match, sometimes doesn't match. So if our personalities are matching, we are lucky guys if we are already married. If it is not matching, we have to transform our expectation to acceptance by identifying the commonality between us and how we can find it out the common ground, start accepting each other and create a meaningful relation. Marriage is not just a journey, it's a transformational journey. It is not the just journey to get married, raise the kids, create the wealth and well-being for them, and ultimately die. No, that is the worst part of the marriage. I always say marriage is the journey. It starts from emotional intimacy, it goes to physical intimacy, then into intellectual intimacy, and it transcends into a spiritual intimacy. And that is the bigger purpose of getting married, to transform spirituality and experience peace, satisfaction, and bliss in our life. And that is the whole purpose of doing our programs for Universal Awakening, and we keep on talking on different topics where we can able to really empower, add value to our audiences or any people who is looking to see how transformation can impact them, their life, their family, their relationship, their near and dear, their friends and family. So all of you, you are welcome to be part of the revolution. We are not here just to give the Gyan Vato session or just to coach the people. We are here to add value in your life. We are creating a tribe of transformed people which is reaching globally. And people from all over the country, almost English speaking country, are becoming part of our transformational revolution through our Universal Awakening and Universal Center for Transformation through Universal Coaching Federation. So it is an opportunity to be the part of this revolution, add value to yourself, experience the bliss in your life, whatever you are doing, and help other people to experience the same with us through our transformation. And I always say happiness is more viral than corona. Once you start happening to you, you cannot keep it to yourself. It starts cascading to all the people, and you don't want anybody in your life, in your family, in your relationship, in your friend circle to remain unhappy. And that they can experience it, and that platform, that revolution, that opportunity we are creating for the people, for the world to experience the satisfaction and again experience not only to just to be a roommate, but be a soulmate for not only for themselves, but for the people around the world. हमारे यहाँ we always say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So our whole universe is our family. We need to experience the peace and harmony with all the people. That is our fundamental. And that is the whole purpose of Universal Awakening. Over to Vikas.
So, friends, we have spoken a lot today about strategy, science, and psychology. But now I want to leave you with one final image. When you go home tonight and the storm of life hits, when the arguments start, when the silence gets loud, when the exhaustion sets in, I don't want you to try to be a perfect spouse. I want you to be a lighthouse. Think about a lighthouse in the middle of a dark, raging ocean. That ocean is your partner's emotion. That storm is the conflict, and you are the structure that stands in the middle of it. First, the lighthouse stands still. It does not run into the waves to try to fight them. It conserves its energy. It knows that listening is metabolically cheaper than arguing. It saves its light for what matters. Second, it is regulated. The storm screams, but the lighthouse does not scream back. It remains grounded. It creates safety simply by being solid. It tells the ocean, you can rage, but I will not break. Third, it sees everything. It doesn't look at the surface of the water. It reads the wind, the currents, the darkness. It decodes the reality. It sees the pain behind the anger. It sees the fear behind the silence. Fourth, it never rushes. The light turns and turns in a perfect rhythm. It creates time. It knows that urgency is the enemy of love. It waits. It lets the storm pass before it speaks. And finally, it trusts. The lighthouse does not jump into the water to steer the ship. It trusts the light. It trusts that if it stands firm, if it shines clearly, and the ship will find its own way back home. So tonight, stop trying to fix the storm. Stop trying to manage the waves. Just stand tall. Keep your light on. Be the lighthouse. Thank you. Thank you all for attending this Universal Awakening session. Dr. D, you want to conclude or you want to add something before we wind up?
No, that's fine. I think it's a wonderful session again today, and thank you all for participating. And this is our forum. We have to come, we have to participate, we have to talk. Our whole purpose is to awaken the people from wherever they are sitting. So a lot of people are not able to get the opportunity to know that there is a forum which can talk about you, who can talk about me, who can talk about us. So bring the people, introduce to the people, be the part of this forum, and we will able to try to be with you, to help you, to understand you, and to empower you that you can become a better version of yourself. You are not alone. We are here. We are committed for you. We are for the people in this world. We are awakened people. Only purpose is to empower and transform all of you to create a beautiful place where all we can live with peace, satisfaction, and fulfillment. That's all. I think, again, thank you all for being here and giving your wonderful time. All of you have the opportunity to participate. All you have the opportunity to talk. All you have the opportunity to share and be part of this wonderful journey. Thank you.